Welcome. You find yourselves in the town tavern. Through the typical calm pierces an unfamiliar voice. It sings news of a nefarious power. A bard to herald a call to all who would answer. Seek out this villainy and destroy it. To succeed is to achieve everlasting glory and riches beyond imagining. To fail is to lose everything. Will you answer the call?
Fuck it.
Welcome. You find yourselves in the town tavern. Through the typical calm pierces an unfamiliar voice. It sings news of a nefarious power. A bard to herald a call to all who would answer. Seek out this villainy and destroy it. To succeed is to achieve everlasting glory and riches beyond imagining. To fail is to lose everything. Will you answer the call?
Fuck it.
Welcome. You find yourselves in the town tavern. Through the typical calm pierces an unfamiliar voice. It sings news of a nefarious power. A bard to herald a call to all who would answer. Seek out this villainy and destroy it. To succeed is to achieve everlasting glory and riches beyond imagining. To fail is to lose everything. Will you answer the call?
Fuck it.
Welcome. You find yourselves in the town tavern. Through the typical calm pierces an unfamiliar voice. It sings news of a nefarious power. A bard to herald a call to all who would answer. Seek out this villainy and destroy it. To succeed is to achieve everlasting glory and riches beyond imagining. To fail is to lose everything. Will you answer the call?
Fuck it.
Live.
Oh,
Hi.
okay. Hi.
Going or are? There is a difference.
We are now.
Oh, we are. So they heard me talking about how good One
No.
Punch Man. Oh,
One
okay.
Punch.
But we are talking about One
Oh, well,
Punch
now they
Man.
did.
Now they did. Whoops. Well, hi everyone.
We're good
It's
at
WovenRealm
this.
time. Normally it would be, but we're waiting on a cast member. Math is a difficult subject. But we play 13th Age here. It's a D20 fantasy game. It's kind of like the Dragons and Dungeons game, I suppose, but not really. A lot more fun.
Nailing it.
I'm killing it right now.
Well, real quick though, I will say tonight is the last stream of our fundraiser that we've been running all through March. All subs and bits are going to be donated to the Trans Law Center. So if you got like an Amazon Prime sub or something and want to help support us for a good cause, tonight's a good night to do it.
It would be a very good night. Thank you, Sam. I was floundering there for a second. So normally, I ended on a really tough cliffhanger. Kind of can't really go on without Lucy here. So if you have any questions about the game, the cast, the setting, I don't know, or any wild theories you would like to posit about what's gonna happen here, I mean, I'm all ears.
You all just want to tell us who is the tenliest 10 of all these PCs, like.
Well, Polynum already said it was
it.
Fenris via negative numbers.
That was
Fighting
Polly
words.
Nim's opinion, though.
Yeah,
Well,
let's
I
let
agree
them
with that
rethink
opinion.
it. Let's let them rethink it.
Look, I agree with that opinion. It's a good theory, and the science is solid.
It has legs. Just like Fenris.
For some
Hey.
reason, Alex likes this theory.
Oh,
Oh boy.
this
That
is a
reminded
nightmare.
me. I was scrolling through my phone earlier today, and I came across the sketch Lucy drew for us of Soren dipping Fenris.
Oh,
Yes.
So good.
Oh,
Has that
that
been released to the
treasure.
public
It
yet?
has been. It has been. It's somewhere
Okay.
in the
That
discussion
forbidden ship.
Discord.
Oh, it's so
Ah,
beautiful.
the absolute.
Look, I'm
the
still here for
Majesty.
it. Oh.
I'll see if I can find it again, and I will
Yeah.
post it to the discussion.
That is
Discord.
repost worthy.
Look,
Yeah.
my brand is the forbidden ships. What can I say?
You
I
missed
think we- I think we
100%
do
of the
both.
shots you do take, Soren.
All right, so
I think we do
Baba
both
Yaga's
Baba Yaga,
curious.
yeah.
Are we talking about physical attraction? Like, do they got a
Ooh.
dumpy, or are we talking like
No.
personality as well?
I think we do one in each category, personally.
All right. Well, Soren's
Okay.
definitely a 0 in the personality
Ouch.
scale.
Oh.
Makes up for it,
found
right?
All right, it's posted in the Discord, WovenRealm discussion channel.
Oh, look at that DV. That's all
Ah.
I'm saying.
So good.
Ah.
Oh yeah.
That is the
The one
deepest
thing-
B.
One thing Soren and Olander can agree on.
The DV.
A good
the
DP.
plunging
All right.
neckline.
The deeper the neckline, the better, always.
True. Very true. I like the ooh woo as well. It's
Yeah. It's fucking gold.
All right. So Baba Yaga says if we are talking just physically attractive, it's got to be Soren or Azara, both absolute cuties.
I mean, this is true.
But if you take everything into account, Constance is the 10est of 10s.
Yo.
I think that's
I mean,
fair.
no arguments.
No,
Yeah, I
no
think
arguments
that
for me
holds up.
here.
Not even Olander would be mad at that one.
No.
Yeah, no, that one makes
Yeah,
sense.
like, sorry, gonna have to agree with that one.
She
You know,
herself-
it's weird. Usually, I don't usually play hot characters in my RPGs, but it's something I'm starting to do
It's
more.
fun.
Yeah.
I mean, isn't all an RPG is just wish fulfillment?
Yeah,
Well,
that's
for
why
me,
I-
it's hard to play attractive characters in games because it's like, you don't want to play a human in D&D or TTRPGs because, you play a human in real life. So it's
Yeah.
like-
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah,
All the
okay.
time.
yeah, yeah, you get it.
do.
So it's hard.
Well, that's why all my characters are so cool. Damn it.
Damn. I got myself.
Fuck.
Fuck.
Now I made myself sad.
Oh, is that why I stopped playing Bard so long ago?
Speaking of pressure to come up with one-liners.
Oh, right. Ugh.
How vicious
Is that how
is
you do
that
it, Chris?
mockery?
Although I will say, I do admire your ability to always come up with a good singer, Chris.
Oh, thank you. Much appreciated.
Talent.
It's a
Years
tough art to
of
master.
anxiety has my brain on overdrive.
Anxiety gave me this. Quintero says most of their characters are terrible romance options. I beg to differ. Sten was a
think that's
gentleman
true.
and a scholar.
A gentleman.
Sten, the Kenku stenographer, was
Ooh.
a gentleman and a scholar. It's a shame we got deleted in like the Eldritch world.
Look, my PCs might be terrible romance options, but they're still hot.
I mean,
That's fair.
Fair, same.
credit where credit's
Oleander,
due.
total 10. Hot mess, though. I mean,
that baggage, so much baggage.
oh boy.
That's what the dog's for.
Oleander's
y'all
a
seen-
classy lady. That's not baggage. That's luggage.
Luggage.
True, and it's all matching.
Carry on.
And it all matches.
Have you seen that trashy game show Baggage before?
No.
No, what?
I've heard of it. Oh my
Yeah.
god, I
We
watched
should do an EC Baggage
yeah.
episode.
Oh wait, I know what you're talking
I know
about.
what you're
Jesus
talking
Christ,
about.
that's
We
so
should do an
gross.
EC Baggage episode.
I watched the We're in Hell
No.
episode about it
Mm-hmm.
on YouTube.
I hate it.
That's a bad one.
I hate it.
Oh my god.
Oh god. Thanks, I hate it so much. I'm still wanting to do a ridiculous reunion of the old characters.
Right.
I want that. We need
Right.
to make that happen.
Just like an Avengers kind of meetup. They all come back for one last job.
There be
Yeah.
biomancers in these realms.
Oh, that is the
Mamma
perfect
mia.
time.
Mamma mia! Saint
Oh,
Louis!
I still want to do the Star Touch versus Wrong Turns battle royale.
yeah. I'm
yeah.
so
The
excited. Oh
royal
yeah,
ro-
chat. Who do you want to see from Gore's Bells and Steam
Versus
Spell?
yeah.
Fun.
Three on
Yeah,
each.
like, 3-on-3. No repeat players though, because that
That's
just gets
hard.
confusing.
Yeah.
I could do it.
I mean, like,
I'm
in an
invincible.
ideal
I mean, we
world-
could do it.
Yeah.
But like, if we were to actually try to schedule something, let us know.
Or we could do 2 EC, 2 Wrong Turns, 2 Star Touched, and make it
Ooh.
just
Tokyo Drift.
Tag
So
team
confused.
Tokyo Drift.
2 Star Touched. 2
A little
Furious.
Mario Kart double dash, I see.
Oh my god. Incredible.
Oh, that would be wild though. Like, what even would that makeup be? 2 and 2 and 2.
March Madness
Ah!
brackets, let's go.
Yeah.
Ooh, little 1v1. Oh, that'd be fun. We should have done that in March. Oh, there's still a day left.
No, that requires planning.
Nah, yeah,
Planning,
good call. Good
ugh.
call, Sam.
Look,
Good call, good
I've
call.
used up all of my planning on
We-
one event.
We,
It's
we
gone
the
now.
channel used all of our planning on one event. Never again.
Never again. Never, ever again.
Oh,
No,
my
that's
God.
not
Well, thank you for joining us tonight, friends. I'm coming up with
That's it. We're
this.
done.
Uh,
Yeah, that sounded like a goodbye.
Go watch CouchCon.
No!
Go watch the VOD.
no, nah. I guess so you know what? I'll do the recap since we're all just sitting here goofing
Yes,
around
please.
I
anyway.
mean, we're getting close on time. We could just probably,
Chris and
Are we-
Lucy are just afraid they're gonna die tonight. Don't worry about it.
So here's how
Um,
we narrate this. Zara goes into shock.
Mental brown note.
Just blue
There
screen.
you go.
Yep.
Blue
That's it.
purple screen of death.
Zara.exe has stopped working.
Well, which of your NPCs has been your favorite so far?
Ooh, I do like that. Who is your
Ooh.
fave NPC so far?
That's tough because
Oh,
we
that
had
is
some fun
tough.
people.
Are we
I
doing this
know.
campaign or all 3?
I mean, I'm
Talagast
gonna
is my
say
favorite
for-
from this campaign.
He's a great baker. He appreciates stuff.
I do love Talagast. I feel really bad we left him.
With an animal
Oops.
and a
He
kid.
doesn't even know.
Yeah, and a kid. Oops.
Um.
That'll never come back to bite us.
Oh yeah, is Emmy an NPC now? Good point.
Ooh.
Ooh.
I
Interesting.
classify them as a player piloted NPC.
All of them. Oh, Polynym, you're so kind.
Aww.
This is
Because like I
hard.
don't really do anything like myself or Emmy. I just am like, all right, Alex or Chris, what information do you need me? What plot device am I
See, but
delivering?
What am I
that's
saying
the
today?
best part. That's what makes it fun. Like Cat Steel would probably fit into the category of NPC as well.
To be honest, I've kind of been so obsessed with everyone's player characters that I don't think too much about the NPCs.
Yeah.
That's
Aw.
true.
Bobby Dogger called
Soren
Tawna
Orion is fucking
Jackwad.
Dad's those
No.
jackwads. Ah!
Oh, the worst part about this is my realization that Ton is the best parent.
Of the
Oh,
Emerald.
Absolutely, he is.
Hey, Mouse is a great Palma. You take that back.
That's true. That's true.
Sure, there was a little bit of
They
very
should have
great
protected their
expectation
Fenris then.
put upon the lad, but I'd say Mouse would be probably the best parent if compared to Ton, especially compared to Ton.
We'll get into his parenting in season 4.
Oh,
Oh,
nice.
goody.
Well, so far though.
He's just proud of him is all.
He's
Okay,
supportive,
Azara's
at least.
parents were actually pretty great before they up and died.
Yeah.
How dare they?
I don't know. I'm a
I'm
big Mother
thinking,
Superior.
extant parents.
It's a Lucy
I mean,
character.
I like Sylvia.
Yeah, I was gonna
Sylvia's
say
fun.
Sylvia. I
And
just
it's-
because I have pro or insider knowledge about Sylvia, she's even cooler. So.
Oh, I think you have the insider knowledge I have about Sylvia.
I think we all have the same insider
yeah,
knowledge.
sure.
Well,
I didn't want to say it to the chat.
No, not everyone
Oh,
has
yeah.
all that. Nah, the insider
At
knowledge
least
is
some of it.
dispersed like seeds.
Seeds
Some
waiting to
gardens,
grow.
some gardens have more herbs in them than others. Some of these buds got more THC than the others.
Oh my god, Alex.
No dead parents campaign challenge next time.
Nettle Swiftfoot has completed that.
I
Happy
have.
home life, great family. When the party came over, the family's like, "Oh, you can stay with us," and they grilled for them. Everyone loved the Swiftfoots. They were the best family. And they didn't even judge you when you got high off toad skin.
Does everyone but Soren have dead parents? Brutal.
I mean, Constance doesn't have dead parents.
I only have one dead parent.
She doesn't have
Fenris's
dead
are
parents
TBD.
per se.
Okay, a
Yeah,
lot of
TBD.
TBD parents. Got it.
I mean, it really gets into the technicality of what constitutes a parent.
What's your definition of a parent? Parental figure?
Yeah, I think that's fine.
It's complicated.
It is.
Look, all these characters have complicated. like,
Oleander was
families.
raised by like a bunch of different people, so like it's
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fenris
Until
gets that.
season 2, I forgot that Oleander was connected with Kat at all. So
Over. Yeah.
yeah, we visited
season
her
3,
Res
rather.
run. in
I know.
season
I'd
1,
I'd
actually.
forgotten. Yeah.
Yeah.
In your opinion, which PC is owed the most apologies by their creator for their backstory?
Oh
Constance.
god, me.
Constance,
So much me.
Constance. Yeah.
Yeah, no.
I mean, the
Just
Oleander,
unanimous.
though.
I'd
Oh,
say
Oleander's got
Constance
some rough
and
stuff,
Oleander.
but at least
Time.
Oleander's got like, other things going for fair. Constance is just
Does she?
nothing.
Yeah, she's like got a new friend and yeah.
Yeah, like Oleander at least is like, I'm nobility, yo. I've got a legacy, yo. There's some
yeah,
other
she
cool
hates
shit.
it. It's so
There's
stressful.
There's some cool shit going
Definitely
on.
has a healthy relationship and dynamic with that.
Yeah.
Hashtag thanks, Egon.
Sam, we make wonderful fathers, don't we?
Oh my god.
Real fathers of the year types.
Seriously. We
Uh,
realized we recently made a character who's worse than Dracula in Castlevania.
you did good.
You did good when you were like, this person's worse than Dracula.
This person is worse than fucking Dracula.
Oopsie doodle.
Yeah, AJ, you're the meanest to your
Yeah.
character.
Look.
I'd say Lucy is the most consistently mean to her characters, but I think
True.
that AJ outdid Lucy this time.
I'm sorry.
True though. You see, but the thing is also, it seems extra mean when AJ does it because AJ's usually not that mean to their characters.
Right, Nettle was pretty happy. Like,
Nettle had a great like pre-campaign life.
I
I'm
mean,
trying to mix
Adrian
it up.
was- Yeah,
Adrian's
I don't
Elements
know.
of both
grumpy,
in most
but
backstories.
I think Adrian was like okay.
She was okay. She was
Yeah.
just grumpy and
Adrian.
old.
Yeah, that's fine. We're all grumpy.
And
and
like,
old.
was a
she had a
little
goddamn
curmudgeon.
right to be.
Yeah, she'd seen a lot of shit.
Yeah, she's just a bit of a curmudgeon. It's okay.
Yeah.
I love Shield Mom.
Shield Mom's like, yeah, Shield Mom's best mom.
We were talking as a cast the other day, and we were saying how we're like voting for like the best character between us and like a lot of us. The consensus was Shield Mom. But,
Yeah,
We
consensus
didn't
was
plan
Adrian.
too
Mhm.
much.
Speaking of the battle royale, Shield Mom's gotta be on the fucking AB team. It's a
Look,
fucking
Well, we lose. All
fire.
right, whatever
Look.
team I'm on, I'm out.
Yeah, if I saw Adrian just walking towards me, I'm like, all right, I'm done. Fuck this. I'm out. See ya.
Soren probably knows who Adrian was, so he's just like, oh fuck.
Look, remember, Adrian was a regular ass person who almost outthrew a giant, a boulder, was throwing boulders like a shot put.
One shot a goddamn demon.
Oh my god,
yeah.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, it was metal as fuck.
God.
Oh,
What was that? What system were we in at that point?
I think that might have still been
That was
5e.
still 5e, yeah.
Oh my
'Cause
god.
that was it. I think we were in the Spire fight with Thunder.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. That's on the right. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, because then Fire tried to fucking bounce. He was
Yeah,
like,
he's
no.
like, all right, see you guys.
But yeah, AJ and I were talking about that, and AJ's like, "We killed Fire, right?" And I'm like, "It's okay, Adrian got him. It's
He's
okay.
gone, AJ. Don't
He's
worry.
gone, AJ.
Don't worry, he
He
can't,
can't
get
hurt you anymore.
They wake up
He's
in a
not
cold
real.
sweat.
Seriously, it was like out of nowhere
laughing.
too. I was like, wait a second, we killed Fire, right?
Yeah, no, like AJ got like really grave for a second. They were like, "We killed him, right?" Like very serious. Like I'm like, "No, we did. It's okay. Down."
Lucy, we're alive, just so you know.
Hi.
Yes, we are. We were just having a little chat with the
Reminiscing.
chat here. So
Chatting with the
we were
chat.
discussing. Yeah, we were just discussing how much of a badass Adrian was and how Fire still haunts AJ to this day.
AJ wakes up in the cold sweat. God, I love that.
All right. Well, thank you. Okay. I think we can. Thank you, everyone, for hanging out. We're going to get started on the real shit now. We're starting a little late, but that's okay because I've set aside like 2 hours for debating tonight in character. So, the Emerald Caravan received some prophecies from the shaman of the Tuft Hollow that were quickly forgotten after they arrived in Eternal Trust, visiting at Constance's behest. Red flags flying immediately as the cheery paladin was soon put to work in preparation of the third birthday celebration. Getting to know Constance before joining the caravan, the party soon set to investigation of the strangeness in Eternal Trust, with an air of dread hanging over their heads as they spent more time in the community. Soren got to know the local physician, who was not the kindly doctor that Constance had discussed and described prior. Oleander made contact with Apollo, fair twin brother, investigating Eternal Trust for heresy at his adoptive father's request, the Carnifex von Zeppenstein. Further searching revealed that the local physician known as the Good Doctor was in fact a biomancer who goes by the name of Dr. Victor Belmont. Deadwinter fans sound off in the chat. The festivities were underway with the ritual, with the residents of the commune partaking in ingesting large amounts of hallucinogenic compounds. It was very uncomfortable, and when Oleander saw Constance was very perturbed and disturbed by the events of the ritual, elected that the EC was going to be leaving tonight instead. Izar and Soren were investigating matters further, delving into Mother Superior's room, finding the connection between the Doctor and Mother Superior was formed through former disgraced financier James Prospero, now going by Brother Prosper within Eternal Trust. The two chose to investigate the hole, finding there were strange mutant creatures sequestered below. Zara and Soren both await their fates at the hands of the biomancer, Dr. Victor Belmont. And that's where we left the party. Constance with Oleander. They're finishing up preparing the damselfly for departure from Eternal Trust tonight. They probably head to the guest room to go get their bags when they realize, wait, they haven't got their bags. Maybe they're like doing something. I think you had the Oleander kind of had the idea they wanted to snoop around a little bit anyway. So like you're kind of buying them some time. Disturbed by the events in Discovery, Oleander, you're hoping to leave Eternal Trust with haste to make a report to Lady Katarina Steele and Ren's Run with what you have discovered here. We will get into that. As they set out to collect Soren and Azara, they would likely be a little disturbed to find that no one could tell them where the two have gone off to. We return to the depths of the area known only as the Hole. filled with rows and rows of cages of the emaciated and vicious hunter-killers, mandible jaws clacking away, snapping at the bit to sink their razor-sharp teeth into your flesh. Sounds like a lovely place so far, doesn't it? Let's see. Sorry, I lost my page there. Cages rattle wildly as they grow increasingly excited at the prospect of fresh meat. A harpy grips tightly on Azara's shoulders, suspending her next to one of these cages. Other harpies fly out from cages, charging both Azara and the falling Soren. And the good doctor is on the bottom of the stairs, clapping slowly with sarcastic pride at your discovery. He stands next to a throw switch, and he places one hand on the lever after he finishes his slow clap. And then he takes the gun in his holster, an orcish eagle, a large pistol, that is racked and pointed at Soren. He remains cool and confident despite his operation being discovered, the biomancer clearly having the upper hand. And before he launches into his villainous monologue, is there anything, Soren or Azara, you want to do, say, or, I don't know, explain the thought process of your character right now? And I don't know. Is there anything? What you got?
Yes. Hold, please. Fuck it. Yeah, I want to cast. I think it's blessed, so we both get 1d10 temporary hit points and a +1 to all attack rolls. I know we're not in combat yet, but just in case, and I feel like those temporary hit points might be helpful.
Not in combat yet?
So as you begin raising your hands and your spell goes off, the good doctor threatens to throw the switch, and he says, "Move 1 inch and I will throw this switch, and my hunter killers will rend your flesh from your bones in a matter of seconds. My, they are ever so hungry creatures."
Did I at least get my spell off?
Yes, you do.
Okay.
What did I tell you about asking questions you did not want the answers to? You think you understand what's going on here in Eternal Trust, but I can tell you my work is far more important than whatever harebrained scheme you have come up with. Even my fellow colleagues could not recognize the genius of my work, but perhaps there is hope for you since you have seen it firsthand. Now, you had the upper hand, but you made a fatal error of assuming because you're clairvoyant that you're so special, that you are the heroes of whatever little children's story your weak minds have concocted. You've played your hand far too early, and now, and he kind of waves the pistol at you, I'm in control. Do not think I've been prepared for this inevitability. Do you think me afraid of you? Afraid of what? That you'll go running back to Lady Steele and tell her there's a biomancer here? I've evaded her vengeful eye for many years now, and I have no intent for my work to end. Go on, run along, tell her. Makes no difference to me. Either way, Eternal Trust will burn and crimson will flow in these creeks, and you will only prove to delay my discoveries. The blood of the innocent, brainwashed members of this con woman's cult will be on your hands. If they live or die makes absolutely no difference to me. So it's not my dreams that will be haunted with the tortured wails of ghosts. Unlike you, I have come to recognize these folk for what they really are. A means to an end. Is there anything, are you considering action at this point? What's the thought process for Soren and Azara here?
He said, run along, it doesn't matter to me. Doesn't seem like he's letting us go, though, right?
Not at this very moment. You still got a harpy gripping your shoulders.
Azara is very afraid, and she doesn't want to do something that is going to set this guy off. So she is going to remain still and bide her time.
All right, Soren, what you thinking about over there?
I'm fucking falling, right? Like,
Oh, you got caught by harpies. You've got like
Okay.
harpies like
all right,
clawing
cool.
at you.
That's
kinda
way
holding-
better, actually. I'll take that. Oh, I mean, Soren's gonna be an asshole. He's gonna say, I can't not do it. I'm sorry. He's just gonna look up at the doctor and say, you know, doctor, I've seen a lot of factions go extinct in my day, and yeah, lucky for you, biomancy not quite yet. But I don't need Lady Steel to kill you.
And he just gives a contempted grunt and just, whatever. You may go. Not because I'm merciful, but if you disappear, Constance will ask far too many questions, and I much prefer when she obeys willingly. Run along now, before I change my mind.
Does the harpy release its grip?
Yeah, so you kind of get released.
I grab Soren by the back of his coat and like go.
Soren's like
As you're
pulling his
about-
gun out.
Like, as you're about to leave, Sword's like trying to pull the gun out. Oh, and he kind of pulls a silhouetted figure out from behind the shadows into the pale moonlight and holds a gun to their head. He holds the gun to their head, and you recognize immediately the figure of Apollo von Zeppenstein. If I see the banners of the Raven God or any Higardi authority, and he kind of drives the barrel of the pistol into Apollo's temple, managing to make the Inquisitor wince, actually. I put a bullet in dear Captain Apollo Morgenstern's brain. Or was it von Zeppenstein? You Kovithians, you really need to get your shit figured out before it undoes your whole empire. And he kind of just shoves him away. I wouldn't worry, though, my lord. Your dear beloved sister travels with them, and I'm sure she would not want her dear lost twin to meet such a fate. And he turns back to you two, as you're kind of like beginning to walk away. I would think long and hard, perhaps discuss with your cute little caravan what consequences of your actions may be, something your group ever so seldom stops to consider. Imagine the Inquisition finds out one of their best is dead at the hands of Eternal Trust. He shouldn't even be here. Do you want to be responsible for starting a war? You have so much to think about, so much to discuss. I shall await your decision, regardless of whatever it is. Now get the fuck out of my lab.
I would leave sooner if he'd stop talking.
I know.
She is just like edging away, just waiting for the second where it seems like he's finally done and she can get the fuck out.
So
I'm
you
leaving
two,
and I'm taking Soren with me.
you, Soren, are you gonna try and fight her? Do you want to get a shot in?
I think Soren will just say, I'll be seeing you, doctor. Thanks for the shoulder checkup.
Make an appointment next time. I recommend it. We'll have such good fun, and I can take a look at that eye of yours.
Which one? And I'll just walk out.
All right, you two walk out of the secret hidden laboratory, ascending the stairs, and whew, that's a lot. Meanwhile, Constance, Oleander, what are you two up to?
I don't know. Are we at the damselfly yet?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just waiting.
Yeah, I think so because I feel like
Okay.
Oleander knew they were kind of going to snoop around at least. So maybe she's just sort of like still trying to like feign preparing to get ready, like preparing the ship kind of. Like it's ready to fucking go, but she's pretending she's still like checking things. Like
Oh.
waiting for Soren and Azara.
Constance is confused and trying to help, but not really sure what Oleander is attempting to do right now. So,
Yeah.
What are we
Oh,
doing?
it's just been a very long day, and I feel, just want to make sure I have everything checked correctly. It's still kind of new flying this thing. I'm like looking around for the others.
Mm-hmm. Do we know where Soren and Azara are?
I think they went to, take a walk during the rest of the ceremony. But I'm sure they will be here soon. It's a small enough space. I'm sure they'll hear that, this is where we are, and
Yeah, I suppose a large flying contraption is a little hard to miss.
I'm gonna honk the horn.
And that's where Soren and Azar, you're like kind of just like getting back to the main commune. You hear the horn on the damsel fly.
Back in the other direction.
So you eventually rendezvous back at the damselfly, and Oleander's like, "Come on, get your asses aboard!" And it's a few hours flight back to Ren's Run. You're probably all very exhausted. You've had a very full day of fighting snakes and drug trips and being threatened by medical professionals. So
Professionals.
yes, quote unquote. Well, he did have his MD. He just didn't use it for good things. Let's see. So
Should have been revoked for malpractice.
look, Duskwind Vale has very low standards. They've got fucking vampires to worry about there.
I mean, I just come sprinting onto the ship, like, immediately straight for Oleander. We have a problem.
What is it? I'm like looking over at Constance, who I'm guessing is like right nearby.
Yeah, very, very confused. Just ready to hit like the blast off button.
We we went poking around the good doctor's establishment.
Should we leave first?
Yes.
Yes, go. Fly and talk.
Sure, okay. And yeah, Elena will go to take off and start heading out. What happened?
Well, first and foremost, he has. Did I get a head count of how many hunter killers and harpies there were?
A lot.
A lot? Like, are we talking like a dozen, 2 dozen?
Alex doesn't know how many there are. There's
Nobody
a lot.
knows.
The number of plot.
Like, there's enough to probably overrun this town if he wanted to.
He has a small army of hunter killers and harpies hidden in Eternal Trust. And he also found Apollo.
Wait, what?
He had him at gunpoint when we ran. He said if we told anybody, if he saw any sign of either Lady Partridge or the Inquisition, that he would kill him.
Wait, who is Apollo? What is a hunter killer?
It is a long story, Constance. Apollo is my brother, who I found was, I suppose you could say, visiting Eternal Trust as well.
Oh.
I did not know he was going to be there. It was quite a surprise.
Visiting, Eternal Trust does not normally get visitors.
No, I suppose they don't. Did you see many new faces at the Trust while you were there?
Oh,
People who've joined since you left?
oh, yes, of course. There are new members join all the time.
I don't know if you had the occasion to meet, what was it? Brother Reason over the last few hours, but that was Apollo.
No, I do not believe so, but I suppose I do not know what to say. Please continue your discussion. I am obviously just hindering it.
So what do we do?
I don't know. Frankly, this also seems sort of a short-sighted plan on the good doctor's part. I mean, what does he think is going to happen if Apollo fails to check in with the current effects?
War with Highguard.
Is that what he is angling for, do you think?
I don't know. He seemed more self-motivated. He was exploiting the potential violence to serve his own ends more than he was seeking it.
Sounds like a biomancer to me. Oh, fuck.
I'm not sure what to do. We can't just do nothing, because obviously there is a biomancer exploiting people and creating hunter-killers and harpies as we speak. But we tell Lady Partridge, then the doctor kills Apollo and he doesn't come back, and Highguard and Kovith go to war.
Surely this cannot be my little hometown you are discussing.
Bad people can happen anywhere, Constance.
I do not understand. I think my head hurts. I
can fly
think I
alone
will.
for a while.
I think I should go lay down. And Constance will excuse herself and
All right,
take
quick.
her leave.
The two of you, before Constance comes back, I was at the doctor's office with her, and the doctor gave her a command, and she followed it like that, like in an instant. Like her demeanor shifted, and she went and carried out the task without asking. He told her to leave us alone, and she just went.
Like in an unnatural kind of obedience, or just...
Absolutely. Her back like stiffened up and just straight as a board walked out the door.
So not the same as like when Mother Superior told her to do something.
No, she was, eager and willing to help there, but...
Well,
Tell if he was... Oh, sorry, Azara.
I was just going to say that is nightmarish information.
Could you tell if he was casting a spell or anything? Biomancers don't usually do their own magic like that, but...
I'd tell that. Alex?
Yeah, you're a practitioner of the arcane arts. He was not casting spells. The good doctor uses an actual firearm. He doesn't look like the type of person who uses magic.
Yeah, no magic. I don't know what it is, but
Old-fashioned brainwashing.
yeah, my mind goes back to that medicine that...
That's some disturbing research, actually. Elena will like sort of lean down into her bag and like hand Soren the papers that she copied / stole.
All right.
He gave her more medicine, Thorin.
I don't...
Oh, Mother
Chris doesn't
Superior
remember.
did. Scheisse. Mother Superior gave her some when we were like, we're leaving.
Gotcha.
Soren, as you flip through the good doctor's research notes that Oleander and Azara were able to copy over, many of the notes pertain to the profane science of biomancy. Large portion of literature is by Dr. Heinrich Branson. I lycano blood transfusions. The research discusses the utilization of lycanthropy blood to help graft and transfuse to help grafts and transfusions to hold better. That might explain why he was so interested about Fenris. There is a large journal pertaining to research on utilizing medicine to cure vampirism. Even though many of the notes are difficult for your bardic brain to decipher, a cursory glance tells you the science is actually good, and Oleander could back up the medicine fair self, and Azara as well. There is a large journal of research pertaining to the usage of dragon's eggs and dragon's blood in regards to a Project Nidhogg, bestowal of draconic essence to a person. Dr. Belmont's notes go into detail about the failings on Branson's end and his stepping in leading to some success in the experiment. The most research pertains to something titled Project Minerva. This is perhaps the heftiest of the journals, appearing to be the devotion of his life's work after discovering the cure for vampirism. Many sections of the notes are missing, but portions of it are devoted to studying clairvoyance and to bestow it, similar to bestowing dragon essence. The real kicker is that Dr. Victor Belmont potentially achieved the unthinkable, what a biomancer is trying to achieve when they discuss the magnum opus, abiogenesis, creating life where there was none. Project Minerva makes mention to the Partridge family of Wren's Run. Many of the notes from his psychomancy journal are present in Project Minerva. And the final page is perhaps the most interesting. They hunt me after I have achieved what many called impossible. They could never understand nor comprehend my work or its importance, the creation of life and the bestowal of clairvoyance. Project Minerva cannot fall into the hands of Lady Steele nor the Inquisitors. My work cannot be undone, but it cannot continue under this name. And the final line in the journal, we have prepared. Studying Minerva shall continue, but psychomantic conditioning will be providing my subject with a new name, Redacted. And then finally, there's a journal on psychomancy. It's perhaps the most disturbing of the disturbing science you've read. It utilizes conditioning through a combination of medicine, subliminal messaging, signals, hypnosis, and various other forms of brainwashing, psychology, and medicine. The research suggests it's possible to quote unquote program individuals with this psychomantic practice.
I mean, it's right there on the page. That's definitely what happened, I think we can say.
So what
Well,
do
I
we
don't
do
know
about
what to
it?
do. I have no idea. When we get to Ren's Run, I don't know how much to tell Lady Cat now. I want to tell her everything, but
I mean, would she understand the precarious political implications? Would she be able to get in without getting Apollo killed? Would she even care?
well, the territory of Eternal Trust is technically Duke Swiftfoot's lands, who I'm sure would be certainly more than willing to do anything we need to help, but Lady Steele has sort of a temper and doesn't always think things through. So when she hears about all of this, I'm not quite sure how calm and collected she might approach things.
The question is, considering that Apollo isn't supposed to be there in the first place,
No,
can
that is-
Kovith even make a political salvo if he dies there? Because officially they can't admit he was present, right?
Officially, no, they couldn't. But it still looks really bad if he's there and ends up dead at their hands.
Yeah,
And because you would end up with an international situation where basically Highguard's harboring heretics to the Kovithian Empire, which would give them casus belli to declare war because these heretics committed a crime against the Inquisition. It's a very
But
messy.
the Inquisition
political
wasn't
situation.
supposed to be there to begin with.
doesn't, but also there's also Maywood sitting right there waiting for anyone to start shooting guns to go and join the fight as well. It's a very precarious political situation right now.
Theoretically, Apollo was undercover, so for all anybody knows, he actually had some weird moment of conversion and like is now just being held hostage or whatever. Like, who knows?
From my understanding, we're kind of just waiting for someone to shoot Archduke Ferdinand.
Yeah, that's what it feels
Basically,
like.
the powder
Yeah.
kegs are loaded. That's basically what the good doctor's saying. The powder
Apollo
kegs
von
loaded.
Ferdinand.
Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, if Apollo dies, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if he's supposed to be there or
Like,
not. It doesn't
excuses
matter.
will be made. Justification will be found regardless.
Yeah, everyone's honestly just looking for a
Waiting.
reason to shoot right now.
So,
Well,
I'm concerned to leave him in the hands of biomancers any longer than necessary as well. That's has me very concerned.
I have a question. Do you care about your brother? Do you like your brother?
I think Oleander's like sort of this whole talk, like her hands have just been like gripping, I don't know, steering wheel. What do planes?
Yeah,
have?
it's like it's got like you know how it's like there's those half like Y steering wheel things.
yeah,
Like
okay.
it's got like one of those. There's definitely also like a joystick type thing on the side as well. Like you've got multiple
Okay.
instruments to steer this thing.
So I think this whole conversation, she's been like angry driving, like not looking, just like watching the road and like just gripping it.
Drive
like,
it.
Yeah, just like gripping the wheel like really, really hard. Like maybe you hear like some of her hand, like bones, like kind of crack. And she's just like, well, of course I like him. He is my brother.
Just asking. I am of the opinion. Oh,
Made.
sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. I would love to hear your opinion, Soren.
I know. I am of the opinion that this war is going to kick off regardless of what the four of us in this airship do. That's where I'll leave it. So I don't think it really matters who we tell, because if the three of you, not me, ran and told the Queen of Maywood, she wouldn't give a damn. If we told Kat, she would burn the place to the ground and maybe get Apollo killed with it. If we ran all the way to Kovith, then Kovith is angry and kills everyone. Well, they try.
of course,
All the
it
Marrowites
matters, Soren. It's the difference between possible and inevitable.
I understand that, but I would do anything for my family, as you all know, and I'm sure Oleander extends the same grace to hers. So
It doesn't matter if we like Apollo or not. If he dies, then thousands of innocent people die as well.
There might be some more complications too.
awesome.
Well, we're speaking of unpleasant things. We might just as well just get them all on the table.
I don't know for sure. I sort of, just found it in these notes. But, you remember when we met, long ago with Lady Steele, and I asked her about my cane and, where it came from? She mentioned a relative of mine gave it to me.
Yes.
Well, his name, she said, was Corvus Altera, and I have found his name in the notes that I have found. And if I am correct, and these notes are correct, then Apollo and I might have some very interesting heritage for the good doctor to want to explore, and I don't think that would be good in many, many ways.
Your
So,
brother is a fool.
He did not know. I did not know.
in an ideal world, we get Apollo out alive, kill the good doctor, and make it so that it seems as if eternal trust is nothing more than what it appears on the outside. Destroy any and all evidence of biomancy that was ever there, so the Covithian Inquisition cannot accuse on any sort of stable ground Highguard of sheltering heretics in an ideal world. Yes?
I suppose.
How do we make that happen? Or can we make that happen?
Can we ask Constance what she wants? It's her hometown.
We're going to need to be careful.
Constance isn't exactly an objective observer.
I would just be upset if people were making decisions about the iris without my knowledge.
I'm not saying we should not tell her anything, but
No.
I mean, you
It's delicate.
you have seen how she recedes if questioned too much about home. Just now, I mean, it was she hearing the things we were saying already is overwhelming, I think. I don't know the right answer, but I think we need to be careful to not push her away when I think she is going to need us very badly soon.
And she won't want eternal trust destroyed. None of us, I think, want the innocent of eternal trust to be killed or destroyed. But, it's Constance's home. These are the people she trusts.
Well, so I think are we assuming that the doctor is bold enough to stay there now that he has Oleander's brother and he won't relocate?
I think so.
It seems like he has himself dug in pretty well there.
Okay. Then I guess that
the journals made it seem like it was, certainly not easy to find a place to set up to such an extent like this. I'm sure he would. Safe havens for biomancers are very few and far between these days, especially.
well, that
Very
leaves
few
it
would
to
want
us,
to risk.
no?
Pardon?
That leaves it to us then, no?
Seems that way.
I don't know how. What to do.
I've planned a few sieges in my day.
We are outnumbered and quite probably outclassed. And he has a hostage that must survive. Oleander, how capable is your brother in a fight?
I have not seen him. I have not seen him since we were 5, but in order for him to have gotten the position that he has, he must be a very good warrior.
Yes, he is a captain in the Inquisition, and his dad is like one of the best inquisitors currently in the Empire. Like, his dad's known for being a fucking badass. So this kid, Apollo, ain't a slouch.
And Egon was a warrior too. So even before he was raised by Zeppenstein, he was like.
Covithians are a warrior culture.
Yeah.
Their religion has a warrior Jesus figure. So.
Right, one step at a time. First, what do we tell Lady Partridge? Or do we tell her anything?
Ooh, I wouldn't call her Lady Partridge. That's a dead name to her. Doesn't she go by Lady Steel Cat?
It's sort of interchangeable.
Oh, is it? I thought she didn't like the name after what her parents did to her. I guess I was wrong.
I mean, she hates her family legacy, but she also appreciates the political weight that it probably still holds.
Gotcha.
She has like 3 rotating identities at this point. She's got like Lady Partridge, which is the official business. She's got Steele, the adventurer who kills things, and then Christina, the union representative.
Oh, okay. 'Cause I figured she just took on the because she retook her home, so it's just kind of like, well, it's mine now, so I can go by whatever fucking name I please.
I mean, Lady Steele is probably more common to people who actually know and interact with her.
Okay, I was just curious. That's fun to know. That is a fun detail to know, actually. Thank you.
Because Lillian is still Lillian Partridge.
Yeah, I was gonna ask.
She never went by anything else.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I just figured that shit was so traumatic for the poor girl. Oof.
Yeah.
Speaking of biomancers, all right, you go back to your discussion. Sorry.
Anyway,
So we tell Cat nothing.
nothing.
We have to report about Tuft Hollow anyway, so it's
Well, yeah.
we don't need to.
Mention our
Not
pit
yet,
stop.
at least.
Oh, the flight logs. Yeah, we could just tell them we stopped into.
We
Just
visited
visiting
on Constance's home.
Yep.
I don't like this, but I don't know what else to do. Whatever, she's kept enough from me anyway.
I mean, I can say it, so then you're not lying to her.
It's fun. Just like still staring straight ahead, flying.
Okay, so we tell her nothing, and then we do nothing. This is where it falls apart a bit.
We need to get Apollo back. If
I think
nothing
step one
else.
is trying to appraise ourselves of what to expect from a biomancer. Are there records of previous encounters, ways they were defeated in the past? What kind of nasty tricks they might have up their sleeves?
Best records really are tales from those who have already faced them. Lady Steele made sure that anything about or from them, especially in Ren's Run, was destroyed. Sancha and Siggy might be help. The Black Coats were sort of experts at hunting them.
I really hate to bring this up, but I do know another person who's fought biomancers. Krukala the Watcher, she's siblings with another one of Cat's friends.
Oh, that's right. Krukazel, right?
Yes, he's a buffoon, but
They'll agree to disagree. She is in Ren's Run, though, yeah?
should be.
That would be preferable. Sancha and Siggy are not fools if we start asking a lot of very pointed biomancer questions. In our travels, they will start to piece things together.
I would definitely feel more comfortable if we had some idea truly of what we're up against.
Nothing good. I know that's much.
Gathered that. And what about Constance? What should we tell her or not tell her?
Well, speaking of Constance, actually, AJ, let's check on our tennis to tens here. What is Constance up to right now?
Constance is currently like sitting on her bed, aggressively embroidering with some of the stuff that she picked up while she was home.
All right,
not the thing that she was working on before she left. That one is gone forever.
What's she working on?
Probably just a sampler. It's
Okay.
probably like a comfort thing for her to just make a little embroidery sampler of like all the stitches and things. And
So as you're aggressively just embroidering, you feel like a little bump on your like shoulder. It's like boom, boom. And when you turn over, it's your Gorfin, Arcadia. It's your little baby Gorfin, just kind of bumping you, asking for pets.
oh, yes, Constance obviously gives her many pets in pieces.
And yes, so Arcadia like rolls over, lets you pet the downy covered belly, because remember they have feathers and fur because they're little griffin creatures. She lets out some playful chirps and tweets, I guess, because catbird. And she kind of like flutters around you a little bit, trying to make you feel better because, cats.
Go. Constance eventually just ends up in a little puddle of tears, cuddling Arcadia.
And you two, like you're just kind of crying in Arcadia, and Arcadia just kind of there making biscuits with the talons next to you. Just like instead of like cat feet, it's like bird talons making biscuits.
No. It hurts, but I don't care.
All right. Anything else you would like to know, Constance? Or do? Or
I don't know. Like,
you want to rejoin your friend's discussion?
No, I don't. Constance definitely does not want to go back. That was confusing and very confusing. Constance likes to stay here in the room with the needle and thread, and everything makes sense here.
Okay, that's fair. All right, Constance, you can stay there. All right, we're gonna shoot back over to the friends discussing Constance and what to do about this whole situation.
She will come if, like, summoned, but she's not coming out on her own volition.
Good to know. Well, first things first. Mother Superior gave her some medicine, right? That's almost certainly some biomancer atrocity. We can't let her take it, right?
We don't know what will happen if she does not.
But she's gone months without it before, and she's been okay.
We don't know anything about it. There are certainly medicines that, months could go between needing treatments. We could take her.
Test it?
We could take her to see, Kat's sister, who was actually my doctor growing up, and has likewise very experienced with biomancers. She sort of grew up in their care as well.
So she might be able to figure out what it is.
Perhaps.
Worth a try. It's the best lead we have.
St. Lillian is very kind too, honestly. I think she might be a little bit more sympathetic about the situation without flying off the handle, as it were. And would at least, I think, respect concerns of, confidentiality.
Well, would she be in Ren's room?
That I am not sure until we arrive, but probably.
It's a good place to start.
She might have had business elsewhere, but...
I don't like keeping things from Constance. But I also don't know what she would do if we told her. I don't know if she'd believe us.
She seemed very unhappy back home. And I don't think it is just because of the way that place is. I think it was going away and then coming back.
I think she must know by now on some level that it's not right, but she has a lot of faith in Mother Superior, and speaking from experience, faith is a difficult thing to shake or to doubt.
I mean, I'm probably not the best one to try to talk to somebody about faith or anything, but I don't know.
We can't tell her nothing. We can't just leave her in the dark.
I mean, she knows there was something wrong with my brother there, and the doctor now.
I suppose we could start with the doctor and tread lightly around the issue of Mother Superior.
even the doctor if you need to tread lightly, especially if this is someone who has some sorts of strange control over her.
Yes, but it seems the clearest accusation we can levy. Because to be honest, we still don't know much at all about Mother Superior. I mean, Soren and I checked her rooms when we had the chance. We were able to look through her journals, but honestly, there wasn't much.
You know she's full of, so full of Scheisse. Her eyes are brune, yes?
Yes.
Okay, just making sure. That whole 3 birthday thing is total nonsense.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
I
the
want
question-
3 birthdays.
The question is, what is she trying to get out of it? She spoke in vague terms about ascension beyond the mortal plane. That doesn't sound like what Constance has been claiming her truth is, the separation of the realms. That's something else. That idea of ascending beyond the material plane and using clairvoyance to do it, have we heard that before?
So there's some interesting. Okay, we're gonna get into planar mechanics, I guess. All right. So fun fact: most mortals cannot physically enter the realms above. It's just ever since the clairvoyance, the gods have forbade it, but clairvoyance can. So it's almost like a physical ascension into the realms above to heaven.
Heaven's Gate. It's Heaven's Gate.
Yeah, and you're catching on now.
Yeah.
We had Waco, now we got Heaven's Gate. I gotta hit all my cults.
Ugh.
Baba Yaga is slaying creative chimera,
Yes, really
just
good.
saying. Just want to give Baba Yaga a shout out and some love.
Oh yes,
Phenomenal.
everything is very confused. It's same Baba Yaga, and I did this. I knew this was gonna happen. This is why my note said set aside 2.5 hours for debate, because I was everyone's oh, I'm gonna give Kat what's what. And I'm yeah, sure, okay, you do that.
No.
I feel
We were
so
we
bad.
finally have an adult we can go to.
I know.
Just
I'm
kidding.
sorry.
I'm just sitting back here yes, the chaos I have wrought.
Okay. So. But just being in the upper realms wouldn't give you any sort of special power or immortality, would it? You would still
not
just be mortal.
Really,
But
but there's a reason maybe the Moonlit King's kind of interested in having a mortal relative who can get there. Maybe there's a reason Lycus was really happy to have a tiefling with his heritage that was clairvoyant. There's things
what that might be.
There are things happening that the caravan does not understand nor comprehend.
I'm gonna break this pen. Fuck. Okay.
We haven't gotten into the weird planar mechanics yet. We're getting there. We're getting real close. But yeah, that's probably where Mother Superior's pulling some of her bullshit beliefs, is she's taken bits and pieces from various religions and theories of existence and applied them to her cult, basically.
But the Moonlit King, when I was talking with him, said he wanted us to fight Omega X. Would that require us to go to the above?
No, that's because you're trying to bust. Well, you're going to Gehenna, which is
technically out. That's why. But
actually going to Gehenna is technically one of the realms above. Realms above doesn't. It's not like heaven, hell, above and below. It's the realms above, meaning they exist above this plane of existence.
Turtles all the way up.
Yeah, so you're gonna have to do that anyway to bust Fenris out. Yeah, you're gonna be breaking some serious laws doing that.
And I know he wants us to do that.
Yeah, he wants that to happen.
So I'm asking because you have told me there's a connection between what Mother Superior wants and what the Moonlit King wants. I don't know what it is, but there is one. Would Azara be able to put that together? Just from what she's heard from both of them.
No, you don't have enough information.
Not enough info. Okay.
Yeah. Is there any other questions? Anything else before? I'm going to just take us to a quick break because I want to figure out what the next move here is for the EC.
Nope.
No immediate questions, at least.
Alrighty. We're going to go to a quick break. Thank you for joining us for tonight's philosophical moral debate.
Oh boy, and thanks for your
Not over yet.
donations.
Yes.
Ooh, yes, and thank you for all the donations.
There we go.
Requested. Here. Okay, we are going all off.
Welcome. You find yourselves in the town tavern. Through the typical calm pierces an unfamiliar voice. It sings news of a nefarious power. A bard to herald a call to all who would answer. Seek out this villainy and destroy it. To succeed is to achieve everlasting glory and riches beyond imagining. To fail is to lose everything. Will you answer the call?
Fuck it.
Welcome. You find yourselves in the town tavern. Through the typical calm pierces an unfamiliar voice. It sings news of a nefarious power. A bard to herald a call to all who would answer. Seek out this villainy and destroy it. To succeed is to achieve everlasting glory and riches beyond imagining. To fail is to lose everything. Will you answer the call?
Fuck it.
Welcome. You find yourselves in the town tavern. Through the typical calm pierces an unfamiliar voice. It sings news of a nefarious power. A bard to herald a call to all who would answer. Seek out this villainy and destroy it. To succeed is to achieve everlasting glory and riches beyond imagining. To fail is to lose everything. Will you answer the call?
Fuck it.
Hello.
Boo.
Welcome back. We're still on the Damsel flying back to Ren's Run after the events of Eternal Trust.
Everything is fine.
We're going to go back to the Emerald Caravan debating like what exactly they should do about this community in Constance.
Oh boy.
Gee.
Yeah, so Olander's proposition is, I mean, we do have to tell Lady Cat at least, like, just check in about Tuft Hollow while we're in Ren's Run. But in terms of Biomancer stuff, not mentioning that. But probably mentioning it to Lillian.
How do we feel about that, gang?
That works for me.
Do we not think Lillian will just tell Kat?
Doctor-patient confidentiality.
Okay.
At least to a point. Oleander is also kind of banking on like Lillian being more calm and collected and level-headed than Kat. And Lillian and banking on Lillian also knowing that.
Yeah.
Lillian agreeing, oh yeah, if we tell Kat, everyone's dying.
Gotcha.
So
I
we
mean-
could be wrong, but that's Oleander's thinking.
I think if we approach it right, Lillian won't tell Kat. At least not immediately.
Right? Like, Oleander's focus would definitely be like, at least give me time to get my brother out, so if shit goes sideways, oh, look at that baby.
This damn cat. I'm sorry. This damn cat's
So
so
good.
cute.
Yeah, so Oleander's just gonna keep making her way towards Ren's Run to park back
Sure.
at the Oprix Academy. Someone might want to go check on Constance, though. We've still got a few hours. You know, I would, but I'm literally the only one who can fly now, so.
I'll go. I will go check on Constance. Knock on the door?
You can just show up in her little space, her little nook.
Curtain? There's a curtain? I'll just
Yeah,
like
there's a
knock on the wall
curtain.
next to the curtain.
Clunk, clunk,
Constance?
clunk.
Hello?
Hi.
Oh.
Can I come in?
Oh, yes, of course, please.
I just wanted to check and make sure that you're doing okay.
Of course, why would I not be okay?
Going home after being away is hard. And it's okay if you're upset or if it wasn't the place you remembered it being.
Oh. I suppose I am not very good at hiding my emotions, I suppose.
Well, I've been somewhere pretty similar. Do you want to talk about it?
I do not know what there really is to talk about. It is just strange feeling like you were a perfect puzzle piece and now you return and you no longer fit the way you used to.
I'm really sorry, Constance.
It is fine. It is probably mostly in my head.
I don't think so. And, you know, how you feel matters, regardless of cause.
Thank you. I'm sorry that I left our earlier discussion so hastily.
You don't have to apologize.
I just feel as though I am not contributing very much as of late.
That's not true. Constance, you are a valuable and important member of the Emerald Caravan, and a dear friend. Can I ask, has there been something specific that makes you feel like you're not contributing?
I do not know. It is difficult to pinpoint exact moments, I suppose. I am used to feeling necessary, needed.
I need you.
Constance tries to not look like she's about to cry, but her eyes are watering up. And she's like doing the thing where she goes like her eyes are a little wide and then she blinks and she's like looking up just a bit like
Zara will
it's
just
very
like,
kind of you to say that.
and you didn't save our lives. You've saved our lives several times. But Constance, even if you hadn't, you're still our friend and we still care about you. You don't have to be useful to be worth something.
Thank you for saying that.
I'm not just saying it, it's true.
It's just if I am not useful, then what am I?
What do you want to be?
Constance looks like very startled by that. Like she looks very taken aback because that's never a question she's been asked or had to consider before. And she just she's kind of just stunned silent and just shakes her head and shrugs her shoulders, just at a loss.
It's okay not to know. But I think you should think about it,
I suppose. But first and foremost, my life belongs to eternal trust. I live by eternal trust, and if I were to die, it would be for eternal trust. That is my purpose. I cannot forget that. I apologize that I lost my composure.
You don't have to be sorry for feeling, Constance, or for showing it. I care about what you think and what you have to say. And I care about how you feel.
Again, Constance really doesn't know how to answer that. I think at that point, she probably just she's pretending it's not happening, but there are definitely tears streaming down her face right now. And she's just kind of like, yeah, this is good talk, team. This is, it's a bit drafty in here, I think.
Azara will hand her a handkerchief and then just like leaning on her shoulder, but politely pretending not to see her cry.
I am. Perhaps it was a mistake to take you all home with me. I am sorry. We are strange, I know, and I worry that you may all look at me differently.
I think when you see pieces of how people were made or shaped, it is inevitable that it will change the way you see them. But it didn't make me think less of you, Constance, and I was glad to see it, to understand you a little better.
At that, Constance will just give Zara a big hug. Just
Oh,
hold her tight.
yeah.
And just
Big squeeze.
cry a little bit into her shoulder. Alright, what are the other two hooligans doing?
Yeah, what are the other two hooligans doing?
Soren's
Meanwhile,
gonna-
in the cockpit, sup?
So, Soren's going to, after a few moments, just look over at Oleander out of the corner of his eye and say, "What can you tell me about Kat that you haven't told me yet?"
Is there something in particular you want to know?
Does she treat her people justly and kindly, or are there still people who want?
As far as I know, she does all she can to make run a far better place than it was when she found it. Which, bear in mind, she had liberated from the Biomancers and the Inquisition. I am actually surprised that you seem to have something of an axe to grind with her.
I don't have an axe to grind with her. I have an authority issue. And I also have a future. I just have an inkling in the future that my family and Lady Steele will not always get along.
So, I mean, I know you have an authority problem, that's pretty clear. But at least in the time that I have been in Ren's Run, everything I have seen at least is Kat is a leader who I would be glad to have been managing Verdam and Kier in my family's absence. So
Well, let me put it more bluntly. I mean, she's better than the Queen of Maywood, but by how much better is she?
she would never do anything knowingly to harm the people she has a responsibility or duty for. That is for sure.
All right. How long were you with her?
Why do I feel like I'm being interviewed or something right now?
Because I don't have anyone else to interview about it.
Well, I came to Ren's Run when I was about 7. So it's been about 15 years or so. She wasn't my formal, guardian. That's legally Sancha and Siggy, but
Sure.
she's as good as.
All right. I just have not that you care, but I just have a lot to think about in the future with my family and who's going to do what in my family going forward. So thank you for obliging my quick interview.
I don't know how much stock you put into my opinion, but I think you would like the kind of ruler that Lady Cat has been. You could ask your friend Krukala. She would know better.
She does, but I worry that buffoonery runs in the family.
If she has a fondness for Brekik like her brother that does, then, well, I mean.
Yes, I think she does. The candy habit is even worse.
Yeah, that just is weird. What is with that family and candy?
I do also respect your opinion somewhat.
Well, that's good to know.
I don't totally disregard everything you say, just like half of it.
Well, then I suppose we're on about equal footing there.
I figured as much. Soren will just kind of sink back into the co-pilot chair until he is talked to or needed, and just kind of sit with his thoughts for a while. And he's just going to peer through one of the journals he has, but it's not his normal book, and it's just got an open eye on it, which obviously at this point you know what it means. So
Okay, yeah. Just sort of at one point, like, while they're like hanging out, you sort of feel Olander do like a sort of jerk, like almost like she saw something, but then like corrects course again. But she doesn't acknowledge anything.
No, there's no sorry about that.
Nope.
We ran into some turbulence.
She's just like, they can all fucking deal with it.
well, I know you're not falling asleep. What was that? Actually, I don't know if Soren knows that. He'll just ask, what was that?
Oh, that's true, because he wasn't there when she actually told everybody like all of the symptoms she has since dying and coming back.
Yeah.
So, she's just stopped hiding that she doesn't eat anymore, and I don't know if Soren has ever questioned that.
Nah.
She's just kind of dismissive, like, it is nothing, it's fine.
Seeing ghosts again?
I suppose you could say in a manner of speaking.
Alright, well. I've seen my fair share of specters, if you ever want to share.
Say, actually, I'm just sort of curious, the things they tell us in Kovith, I know, are vastly skewed about many things. I'm wondering if are there any tales or myths around Blackhearts that might not be common knowledge in Kovith? I know you know so many stories and such. Perhaps Mavid has their own mythology.
Has Soren ever heard anything out of the ordinary about Blackheart?
Dad would have told you Blackheart was in on Matriarch's scheme that the brass stopped with the help of the Wrong Turns.
Yeah.
Being the Raven Queen's husband and all that.
Cool. Then I'm gonna totally embellish that. Yeah, my dad told me that he fought Blackheart himself once. Came
Oh,
out the other
really?
side. That's very powerful, man.
So remember that whole about 50% of what you say thing we were just talking about? Guess which 50% this is.
Oh, I think I have an idea. I think I'm in the same 50. Regardless, my father did say that he helped, I guess, Azara's great-great-grandmother try to destroy the worlds or make a new one. It's unclear.
Okay. I was just curious.
Just curiosity, just vague curiosity for no reason.
Well, I've been reading a bit about Saint Oriana. Fenris gave me a book before he left. And I was just wondering if there was maybe anything that I missed or, was not in the writings.
Just that my father beat him in combat. They don't tell that tale.
No, that is not a tale that has made it to Kovith.
Why don't you roll me like a knowledge type check to see what truths you could have picked apart from Dad's old bullshit stories.
My one flipped over to a 15.
Oh, good. That's a good feeling.
Yeah, that's a good day.
Honestly, it's probably just a 15. I don't really have any. Maybe level, I guess. So 19.
Maybe
but
like
that's-
family business because your dad was involved in it.
Yeah, so 23, I guess.
Oh shit. Okay. What's something else you would know about Blackheart? Give me 2 seconds here to think about it.
Good.
Oh, here's one you would know because this wasn't from Dad. You kind of like you had a moment to swipe through the books at Madame Curio's, and when she mentioned Chaos Hearts, you kept an eye. You kept your nose to the ground. The Heart of Darkness is one such Chaos Heart, and was the beating heart of Blackheart's mortal avatar, the Prince of Terror.
I didn't want to freak anyone out earlier with this, but since you're bringing up Blackheart, originally one of the Chaos Hearts beat inside of his chest. Not sure if that's still the case, because as you know, gods and lords die and reincarnate like the breeze of a wind, but...
That's fascinating. Yeah, Olander doesn't have much color left in her now, but you definitely see like any bit that's left is like gone.
Do you have a reason for your curiosity about Blackheart?
Curious about many things.
Alright. Now you're falling under my 50. You know what? You don't have to tell me if you don't want to. I don't tell you everything, so it's only fair.
Well, maybe another day. Frankly, I'm still trying to figure some things out. So when I know something for sure, maybe I will say more.
No rush. I think we're all trying to figure something out ourselves, seeming by the the events of the last few days. So.
Yeah, I'm very worried about Constance.
I am too. I'm gonna kill the doctor someday.
Well, that is certainly something we can both agree on. I'll be more than glad to help when the time comes.
Sounds good. Soren's just like absentmindedly like rubbing the shoulder where that little like bat mark is from his cane.
The same day Oleander smacked you with hurricane in the face.
A brutal day.
Soren's gonna get old, be a retired like watcher one day, and the doctor's gonna like his actual normal doctor's gonna be like, "Here, sir, you're gonna need a cane," and Soren's like, "No!" Alrighty. So if there's nothing else we want to do, we can just continue just kind of, I'm sure everyone wants to kind of like snooze a little bit. It's been a very eventful day, to say the least. Oleander, you don't sleep, so this really helps with traveling because you can just fly.
Why she's the pilot.
Yeah, you can just kind of watch the stars go by in the night sky.
That and the insurance.
Oh yeah, and insurance. Fuck. All right. Anyway,
Really quick in the night,
yeah.
I'm just going to go into Constance and Azara's room. Just be like, Azara.
Yeah.
Next time you want to jump down a hole, don't.
That's probably good advice.
Just think, what would Soren do? And do the opposite.
Don't do that.
Oh my god.
All right. I care about you very much. Good night.
All right. Good night, Soren.
And with the words, "I care about you very much," echoing in your mind as you fall asleep, Azara, your dreams take you far back in your memory to simpler, happier times, let's just say. Mom and Dad are still around, at least you think, because you're back at the old Forest Lake house. It's a lovely place here. So as you're kind of taking in the splendors of nature, the wind begins to, oh, actually, I wrote this before the session started because I had a little time. The wind begins to toss your hair about your face, picking up in speed and intensity as the leaves and the grass around you coalesce into clouds sparking with static of the storms. The trees almost come to life in this whirling cloud around you, growing larger and brighter in color, almost coming to life in their own right. The wild call of an elk is heard in the distance on a rumbling of thunder that can best be described as the very roar of the earth. In the pale light of your dream state's moon is the silhouette of a knight clad in viridian armor and helm flanked by stag horns, stepping through this mist, and as they do, the wind calms around them. And when this emerald-clad knight reaches you, they get onto one knee, bowing their head deeply before meeting your violet gaze with mismatched eyes, the silver of rain in one and the copper hue of lightning in the other. And when they speak, you'd be forgiven to expect a booming voice given the grandiose display of divine storm power. But instead, there's a kindly voice, weathered with the years of conflict, that echoes from beneath the staghorn adorned helm. Izara Solaris, we finally meet.
Hello. Now, question, Alex. How aware am I that this is a dream?
It's pretty lucid right now.
So, okay, so it's like adult Azara in her.
Yeah, she's just in her childhood. You're in your childhood home, and now you're an adult again because dreams are weird. And you're talking to this. This figure very much resembles the subject of the stories that Soren was reading to you before. The Green Knight, the founder of the Knights of the Radiant Heart, Oberyn Eversummer the First. First king of Elan, first king of Enchantra. He's a very important figure in further history. You would also, from the check you made before, he is an avatar of the Storm God.
Oberon Eversummer.
Well, not the flesh, but yes, it is I.
Thank you for your help.
Of course.
I'm grateful.
I made a promise to aid you, and I intend to uphold my oath.
You did?
I did.
When? To whom?
I made that promise many times. Recently to you, long ago, back when I knew your mother.
My mother?
Yes. Tamlin Solaris. And you are a spitting image of her.
Do you know where she is? Do you know what happened to her?
I've known your mother since she was a little girl. I do know where she is, but I do not know for certain what has happened to her. But unfortunately, the corruption of the moon prevents me from seeing such things. But I know how you can help her.
How?
And help by helping your friend in Gehenna. And I believe I know of a piece of what you will need to reach that realm.
Okay. What is it?
Tucked away within the Forest of Secrets, back in the lands your mother originally hailed from. The lands that bear my daughter's name and the people who see her as their prophet. There are ruins in those forests. Ruins that hold of an ancient and great power, the mark of fate. I believe you will be needing that to find your destination. And perhaps while there you will learn more of your mother and her origin.
Is there anything you can tell me? I know There are certain things of which you're forbidden to speak, but
What would you like to know?
anything. I mean, she never spoke of her life or where she came from. I don't know anything.
Oftentimes, mortals make the strangest decisions for love, and they sacrifice a lot for that love. I can tell you your mother was loved very much by her family and by your father, and I can tell you she made an accord to be with him. I understand she probably didn't tell you much about your family.
No.
All in due time, Izara, all in due time.
Do you think with the Mark of Fate we'll actually be able to defeat Omega X? Because I'm not sure.
I think your friend traversing the plains, the one I have met, will be of great service and aid in your struggles in Gehenna.
You mean Emmy?
The one known as Stars of Emerald I have become acquainted with recently, yes. They have been waiting for your arrival.
Thank you.
There's no need to thank me. I am only doing this because your mother would have wanted this. And it's important to look after those we care about.
You are doing me a kindness, therefore it is necessary I thank you.
You may thank me by every time you hear the roll of thunder. You think of, well, who I am. Or you can thank me by continuing to do what you do and helping those who are incapable of taking up the sword themselves. 'Tis a heavy burden we bear.
I'll do my best.
I know you will. And I know your best is what you will give every time. Look after your friends, Izara. And beware of the usurper of the moon. Farewell.
Farewell.
And the knight kind of whistles, this loud whistle, and this just in from the storm cloud, this elk formed of misty lightning clouds kind of takes shape, like, and lightning becomes the antlers and gets onto the elk, does like a nice, does the whole cool rear thing, and the elk's hooves just take off into the sky as if they are stepping on clouds themselves, each hoof sounding with the boom of thunder. Math lady.
But like, somebody just told her she was doing the right thing and helping people that they approved.
At least somebody got a W out of this tonight, right? At least somebody gets a W. Alrighty. All right. So we're gonna, Oleander's able to land the damselfly skillfully in the Oprix Academy. It's getting easier every time you do it, Oleander. Flying this thing isn't as wonky as it was the first go around. And you kind of, Oleander gently lets everyone know you've landed. If you want, you could just spend the rest of the night snoozing in the damselfly, but I figured everyone would want real beds.
Yeah, she'll wake the snoozers up.
A real bed would be nice.
We're home, kids! Park in the car. Hear the garage door open.
like stumble. You know, you get back from a road trip, it's the middle of the night.
Yeah.
Yes, that's
Stumble
exactly.
terribly.
Yep, Katz is gonna pretend to be asleep, so someone has to carry her.
I'm the only one
She'll
with high
wake
enough
up.
strength to carry anybody else.
Constance just gets like thrown onto Ida's back for a second.
No, she gets up. I'm kidding. Yeah. Yep. Just not addressing what happened earlier. Not doing that. Avoiding that at all costs.
Yeah.
All right. Well, go ahead.
Oh, no, go ahead. I wasn't really going to say anything.
I was gonna say we can just hop, skip, snooze into the next day if we want here to go meet up with, see if Lillian's in town and stuff.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Unless if you wanted to wait, I can wait a week, let you think about what you want to ask and talk about. We come back to it next week. That's fine too.
That might be good. Also, because I feel like the others might want to sort of talk also more about what are we going to talk to Constance about while we're going to go see Lillian, because that's going to need to be handled.
Yeah, so because I figured
but we also don't want to like push her too much. So
I have an idea for that actually, but she'd want to run it by Oleander and Soren first.
Oh, go ahead then.
So I mean, like, she'll just grab them. I guess. I know Oleander doesn't eat, but they do meet up for breakfast. So, and Constance wakes up before everybody else. So when Constance is out training, when Azara would normally be meditating, she's gonna go wake Soren up and knock on Oleander's door.
Yeah, what is it?
I had a thought on what to tell Constance about Lillian.
I'm all ears.
So we know that Constance needs medicine to the point where Brother Judgment had to come all the way to Brightstar Abbey to give it to her, right? And she's gone a long time in between, right? So we could say that because it has been so difficult to get her medicine, it would be a good idea to have another doctor who knows her prescription and how to make it in case she needs it.
It's not a bad idea. That is a good thought. I mean, we can also tell at least, you know, some of the truth in a way, which is genuinely that
we also don't trust him at all.
Exactly. She did not seem happy at Eternal Trust visiting, and Lillian is a good doctor. If Constance wanted to find someone maybe she felt a little less intimidated by, because it certainly sort of gave me that sense. I don't know. If nothing else, I think an introduction would be good, and
I think it should be you who suggests it, because you actually know Lillian.
Yeah, I can certainly bring that up. Is she still training for now?
It's like 6 a.m, so yeah.
Okay, well, you know, in an hour or two or whatever, when she comes into carb load afterwards, we can go bring it up.
Yeah, I mean that'll happen. Constance will finish her morning workout, and come back in to join everybody for like a post-workout banana or something. Do they have bananas here? Shit.
They sure do. They can get them imported.
I could get them imported, yeah.
Comes in for another bowl of porridge. I don't know.
You can get a banana. It's fine. Druids exist. Like, imagine an orcish.
The real question is, do they have peanut butter?
Ooh.
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
Of course. We're an advanced-ish society that has some standards. Jeez. Gosh, peanut butter was probably invented by some Covithian too. You know it.
Damn it.
Peanut butter is definitely biomancy.
Oh my god.
There's no way it's natural.
I will combine this peanut with butter.
Is biomancy? Is cooking just biomancy?
Oh, no!
Oh, dip.
Oh, dip.
Oh, dip.
All right, we've sat down for breakfast.
Yes.
All
I'm
right.
putting
So
peanut butter on a bagel.
yeah, so you sit down at like I'm sure you could just go to whatever inn. Everyone's like, oh, your cat's person. I got a table. You know, wherever you go, it's just they're ready to serve you food.
That's fucking
And-
right.
And it's good food. You know, you probably go to a nice place in town. Oleander ain't no slouch.
Yeah, I don't need to eat,
Right.
but I still have standards.
Soren, the one of the Hectors probably does pull you aside at some point during the day to give you your cut. You're gonna get 2K silver as a cut for the drug deal.
Dude,
And then they're gonna be
Soren is rich now that he
Yeah,
robbed
and-
people.
And then so the Hectors are like, you know, they're just kind of like, look, man, we're looking to expand the operation. So they just kind of have you keeping your nose to the ground. They say you keep it up, they might introduce you to regular sized Hector. But they are also now you can add the Hectors as kind of like a little bit of like Soren's watcher network. You're muted, my friend.
If you keep it up, I'll introduce you to the big man himself someday, Hector's.
Ooh.
You know, so what are we thinking here, big boss? You know, they're like getting down to brass tacks. You let me know what you're thinking in between the weeks, what you want to get the Hectors up to, and
Yeah,
because now you've got minions and they can
we can
like,
play our mini game off stream.
Yeah, like you can either have them do stuff to pull in cash or maybe try and earn you favor with Cat or the local somebody.
I
don't know how
want the Hectors to kill Cat.
that might not work out so well.
They're dead in like a minute.
Yeah. Oops, all Hectors one shot. Yes, please.
One shot.
That would
All
be
right, so
awesome.
we meet up for breakfast, though. I just wanted to make sure, Chris, you got to have. I just wanted to make sure you got to know that you got paid for that, and the Hectors are in your work network now. You got them on Watched In.
Watched in. Shut up.
Sit down for breakfast, and Constance is kind of joins everyone post a workout. You know, the towel over the shoulder.
Good morning.
Morning, Constance.
Good morning. Did you have a good training session today?
Oh, yes. She just thumbs up, like, yep, did it good. Life is
Here, come
together.
have some
I
meat.
have everything together.
Here's orange juice.
Oh, thank you.
There's bananas and peanut butter over there.
You know, after having a banana, I do not know if I could go back to living without them.
They're very good.
High in potassium.
Well, I don't know what everybody else had on their docket for today. But I was hoping to go and make a visit to St. Lillian, if anyone would like to join.
I'd like to meet her.
Who is St. Lillian?
Yeah, she is Lady Cat's sister, actually. You might like to meet her, Constance. She, I had mentioned the other day, actually, that I have my own doctor I have seen for a very long time. She is mine. So,
Very nice.
actually, you might like to meet her. She is very sweet.
Oh, very well.
It should not take too long.
Do not worry. I have dragged you to my hometown. It is only fair.
You did not
this
drag
time-
us.
This time I actually hurt my shoulder, so
Oh,
could use a
Oh,
little
yeah,
bit.
she can actually help you, yeah.
oh, I am terribly sorry.
No, you're fine. I slipped.
You know, Constance, if you want to put a little more time between you and visiting Eternal Trust again, it might not hurt to have a doctor in the city who can help you.
Mm, Why would I need another doctor?
Just if you said it was difficult to visit home again, and Also, I've seen you get deliveries of medicine. Do you need that frequently?
To be quite honest, I do not ask many questions when it comes to that, I suppose.
Well,
I
it
take
might
what I
not
was
hurt.
given.
Might not hurt to have a backup just in case.
Well, I suppose, but
It's up to you. But...
I do feel as though I'm healthy as a horse.
Okay.
Even so, I think it will be great for everyone to meet Lillian. She's very sweet. She has some excellent stories.
Of course.
So the St. Lillian, and then we have to report about Tuft Hollow to Lady Steele.
Yeah. Which was interesting. I mean, there was a Medusa.
Yeah. Is that something we should also report to the Oprix Academy?
Well, I mean, for one thing, they will certainly have some information in our reports, simply from the flight logs anyway, but it would not be a bad idea if there's strange activity like that about. Perhaps other Vive Academies even might have heard other occurrences. We could stop by and see if maybe Iris has heard anything.
And it might not hurt to check the library, because that Medusa was doing something bigger there.
Well, she was trying to get into the space that we were able to get into.
Yes, but there was more to it than that. She had a larger plan.
Oh, I mean, absolutely.
And she mentioned she had some connection to Dustwind Vale, right?
Someone figured that out from a knowledge check.
And, I'm not sure how Duskwind Vale ties into all of this, but it can't hurt to look.
No, certainly.
So, St. Lillian, then Lady Steele, then the Oprix Academy.
Sounds good. And if Lady Steele has more work for us or anything, it would be easy to leave from the academy too, if needed. Because I don't know if there have maybe been other attacks since we left.
It's worth asking. Is there anything else we need to accomplish while we're in the city?
I don't think anything super urgent. I should visit Sylvia. I have not had a chance to speak with her since everything happened. If she hasn't found out yet, she needs to be told.
You want me to try to track down Krukala or no?
I would.
I don't think it could hurt.
Hector.
Which is saying
What's up, boss?
Find her. And I'll just write down like a description.
Krukala? Oh, shit, you know Krukala, man?
Yes, we're old friends.
Oh, Hector. Yeah, they just kind of like go off to go find Krukala for you.
Just keep it cool, all right? Like I was with your thing, keep it as discreet as that.
They get out of like pairs of sunglasses and put them on.
Now that's good, Hector's.
Mum's the word. And then they just kind of leave.
You have goons now?
I've always had goons. They're just more apparent now.
Am I a goon?
Not at all, Constance. We're all your goons.
Okay.
Well, not mechanically, no.
I had a strange dream last night. Actually, I think it was more than a dream. Over on Eversummer, was there? I'm like just a quiet voice down, like don't want to be overheard on this one. And he told me that there was something I needed to find. A mark of fate, I believe, in the secret forest.
Soren, the Mark of Fate's real familiar sounding to you because, hey, you that book you stole, like that's one of the missing pages of it.
Oh, sick. I mean, I don't know much about A Mark of Fate, but I will say that somebody went to great lengths to steal it from my book. So, yes, the stolen book, I understand. I get the irony.
Yeah, irony aside, that's strange.
Lander, like, actually, that's not what irony means, but
If you want to give a knowledge roll, if anyone wants to give a knowledge roll on what exactly the Mark of
I
Fate
would.
is outside of
would.
it missing from Soren's storybook.
When any of my backgrounds help.
7.
Your Fey ancestry one would work for
Nice.
bullshit
20.
reasons. 20, okay.
26.
26. All right, you both know that the Mark of Fate is a page that was taken from the Astropath Arcanum. And what the Mark of
shit.
Fate does and can do is it's essentially, if it does what the Astropath Arcanum can do, you can pinpoint spots in reality. The Astropath Arcanum is effectively a map of reality and multiverse that the Adelians use to FTL travel, essentially. Because magic space bullshit. So having one of these would really help you with getting where you need to go and making sure you don't accidentally zap into, I don't know, the middle of a volcano in Gehenna.
Yeah, that would be a good thing to have.
Gehenna's like shit tons of volcanoes. Oh, there's also like a forest that screams at you. You don't like want to end up in those places.
Oh god.
Look, the planes are weird, yo.
What? So the realm that he was talking about, that would be the Feywild?
Oh no, he was referring to a country actually. You just gotta ask some questions about Oberyn Eversummer, the figure in history, which is where I
Cool.
figured your conversation was gonna go anyway.
Great. So,
Because Soren's storybook kind of like he's a legendary figure. He's kind of one of the founding figures of like the knightly culture of this empire.
Oleander recognized the name because she did study a lot of like history stuff, but not necessarily that region. So
you would know like the basics. Oberyn Eversummer was one of the founding figures. He's the first king of Enchantra, even though he was originally from the kingdom of Eversummer. He married the Lady of the Lake and founded the Knights of the Radiant Heart, and basically also is the cultural founding figure of the Ilandi culture. Kind of created a major shift in their culture. He's kind of the Paragon Knight, and they believe when he left them, he ascended as Oberyn, the Witch King and Archfey figure.
So in a way, he's almost like their parallel Oriana figure.
Exactly.
Okay.
Magic sword and everything included.
Yeah.
That's kind of the idea. It's like that,
Okay,
and that's
this
how
is cooler.
this is. I mean, Oriana's was forged in the flames of the sun. That's pretty fucking metal, and she did that herself. But yeah,
okay.
Yeah, Oleander would know. Like, oh yeah, that's the Oriana parallel that they have. Ours is cooler. Though.
Oh, they're Oriana knockoff. Gotcha.
Basically, it's the Feywild Oriana. It's like budget
Diet
Feywild Oriana. Name and everything.
Amazing.
Those Londy can't do anything for themselves.
Yeah, and then also worth noting is he had 3 children. The Leon Eversummer the second, who became the King of Eland. Lucasta Eversummer the second, who became the founder of the people who'd become known as the Mere, and then Nin Eversummer the first, who was the youngest, and she has a little group of people known as the Ninites that kind of followed her as a prophet, and they have a little area called the Kingdom of Nin that borders regions such as the Iron Forest and the Forest of Secrets. This is like this is basically if you took Spain, like Spain in medieval times and Renaissance era, mashed them with Arthurian legend and Feywild bullshit, and that's what you get.
Ooh.
So, after we've decided what our next move is, I'd like to find that.
Seems like a good next step, honestly.
I'm fine with it.
Okay.
I imagine some of it does depend on what we find out in our searches today, but something to keep in mind.
Yeah.
And actually, like, despite all the shit that went down, Azaria looks lighter than she has in a long time.
Aww.
Constance definitely does make a point that to stick close to Azara after yesterday. I'm not saying Azara is Constance's comfort blanket, but I'm not saying that.
Really, really big deal thing. Soren's gonna stop at a clothes store and just get like a plain, like gray, like hooded cloak at some point. Super.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's like kind of negligible money with how much you've been making lately.
Yep. A surprise tool to help us later.
All right. Is there anything else? I have nothing else. I don't have any one more big thing tonight. I think I'm good. How are we all feeling?
I mean,
we started with one more big thing.
Yeah, right?
I do actually want to have a little scene with Constance and Oleander if we have time.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm just saying, like, as a GM, I've got nothing, so it's all you all right now.
Okay, well, yeah, like, sometime during the day when they're both, like, free, Constance will kind of grab Oleander by herself and just be like, so I realize that perhaps going home again is a little out of our options at the moment, but I seem to have forgotten to pick up some winter clothes while we were there. Would you be able to help me do a wardrobe change, I suppose? You don't even have to know that she's absolutely lying about not having grabbed clothes, because she absolutely grabbed clothes.
Yeah, I mean, Oleander will definitely not question or like push it or anything. But you see, she actually looks genuinely excited at the prospect of being asked to help find new clothes for Constance. So she'll just give you like an actually genuine smile. And, I would be more than glad to, help you find some nice warm winter clothing. I know all of the best shops here in Ren's Run. They have some excellent fabrics. We get them imported from all over, so I'm sure we will be able to find something to your liking.
Yes, I am thinking perhaps something less blue.
Do you have something in mind?
Constance like sheepishly pulls out Fenris's coat and perhaps something to match this?
We can definitely arrange that.
And you can see that she's already like kind of started to cover the parts that were super worn or like stained with like little embroidered leaves.
Aww.
Just covering up all them stains, making it pretty again.
That coat has seen a lot, so there's a lot of embroidery going on with this
Yeah.
thing.
It's gonna be more embroidery floss than fabric at the end of it.
But Oleander, when you do look at the coat, ever since it has entered Constance's possession, it looks like you don't even remember it being in this good of condition when Fenris had it as a kid. Like this thing is like
Aw.
almost fully restored to like previous Cumbrian jester glory.
But yes, I do fear that I'm getting a little cold, and
Well, that's won't do.
I am starting to worry that I perhaps stick out like a sore thumb.
Well, if you are not doing anything now, we can take a trip over to my tailor and dressmakers and get you measured, and you can start picking out some materials. They work very quickly.
That sounds lovely. Thank you.
It is genuinely my pleasure.
Dress shopping.
Yeah.
Go.
And Oleander's gonna pay for your clothes,
Oh.
like from her own funds.
Oh. I cried. But
So yeah, you I
go
believe
ahead.
I believe I actually have a tailor shop in town in my notes. Let me check here.
I think you made one just for me.
Honestly, I also just try to include them when I make
Makes
like
sense.
towns. Yeah. Like I try to include like fun little like establishments that are not necessarily taverns.
Right. Look, we've had multiple occasions to need new outfits, so
Yeah.
All right, just give me 1 second.
We
'cause
don't
I
have
know
to
what-
play through the whole tailoring thing and everything.
That's okay. It's just gonna bother me if I don't find out. See what the name is. Anyway, is there anything else anyone wants to do? I mean, like, Chris, I see you in the chat talking about big
No,
things.
I don't think tonight is the time. But we were talking earlier about stuff that we still need to tell the whole party.
right.
And I was like, oh yeah, like I saw Fenris the latest, and I'm the least close with him. Sweet.
Oh yeah, ouch, oof, ow. So much has happened now. We're gonna have like costume changes and everything. This is exciting.
Winter
Exciting
wardrobe change.
Winter.
Still haven't told anybody why I need a page for the Astropath Arcanum.
Eh,
I trust you.
Fine. It's fine.
I mean,
Zara's not here yet, so
Yeah, I
Alright.
also don't think Oleander or Constance mentioned that they did their own summoning for Fenris, and we're like, oh yeah, Oleander's making plans to break into Ganahar on her own right now. So
I feel like it's like kind of like an unspoken thing that the party's like, we're getting him back.
but nobody knows.
they all know. We
Haven't
all
actually
know.
talked about it or like talked about how everybody's spoken to either Fenris or someone else about getting Fenris. So we're just
Right.
gonna have like 3 different like
It's gonna
Hannah
have
heist
like,
plans.
so here's the thing, guys. I was planning to take Fenris out. You were planning to break Fenris out. Break Fenris out.
Wait,
I was
you
planning
were
to break
planning to
Anastasia
Fenris out.
All right.
What
I'm
are
sorry.
you
This is
doing
one of these
here?
things that like will bother me. It'll haunt me. Found it. Ha! I was gonna haunt me forever if I didn't. Wait, you mean to tell me? Okay, maybe it wasn't the tailor, it was a jeweler I had. Oh. Wow, that was a disappointing discovery.
Sorry.
Ugh, it's okay. It happens. But yeah, there's
That's
totally
okay.
a tailor shop in town, you know. Probably
Oleander single-handedly keeps them in business.
Oleander alone keeps it. Yeah, because Kat's not like going to the tailor on a regular
Oh yeah,
basis.
no, she's their favorite customer.
Oh, there's a clockmaker in town.
Oleander has to replace her black slime dress now.
It's
What is
true.
You do have that dress. Oh yeah, that dress that you're wearing.
All of my clothes get permanently stained by my ichor blood and tears now. So yeah, I
Not
also
your
need some
magic
new
dress,
fucking
though.
clothes.
Not your
Oh, that's
magic
good to
dress
know.
though.
Have to get it fitted.
Because your magic dress, as the beautiful dress looks as if the skirt was woven from the fabric of the night sky itself. So like when you move in the dress, it's like you're looking at the night sky. So it's like kind of like your
Shove
perspective.
it, Kovar.
Yeah, so like your perspective of the night sky kind of changes. So it's like literally someone took the night sky and
That's
put it on this
awesome.
dress.
That's so cool.
That's really cool.
Also, do note in the wiki article under base description, it does say this dress is admissible as formal clothing. Do note.
Nice.
All right, I don't have any other scenes for.
Mm.
All right, cool.
Mine are too heavy.
Is it evening formal or?
Well, it depends. But yeah, so these characters are going to be rocking some sweet fashion. Don't worry, whatever Soren, whatever magical armor. Oh, did you want to like sort any of that away? Because you have a lot of how much money do you all have now? 'Cause Soren got 2 G's from the drug deal.
And a G from Mother Superior's office.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Soren on his person has 3,200 silver.
Oh. Mr. Moneybags over here.
Mr. Moneybags.
Well, it's drug money. You don't want it anyways, and I stole half of it from your mom, so it's like yeah.
Because you have the
Fair
Hydra
enough.
skin. You could like pay to get that turned into something.
Oh, that is true.
We do need to do that.
Does anyone want the Hydra skin?
Depends on what you can
Get
make
what
out
it
of it.
does.
You get,
All right.
you
Give me to an armorer before we end.
get, let's see. How much money do you have total? That's what I need to know.
Are you
Okay.
doing this with what you stole, Soren, or are you asking Olander for an allowance?
Oh
for
no, I mean
Joy?
I've got 3,200 silver. I'll see what we can get. I don't need an allowance.
You're gonna need more than 3,200 to get armor.
All
That's
right,
gonna...
then we won't do it. I pay for myself. I'm
Wait,
not
wait,
asking
wait,
Olander
wait.
for money.
What is the armor though?
Let's see. So it'll be like Hydra skin leather armor. So it'd be just categorized as a light leather armor. You get so basically whenever you become staggered in combat, you can use a recovery as
A
just
free
like a freebie.
recovery?
Like
Pretty good.
you have to use one of your recoveries, but it's like it doesn't cost an action or anything. Like
It's a
the
free
moment,
action.
yeah, it's like the moment you become staggered, you can interrupt and say, "I want to heal now." It also does give a +1 to AC. That's always sweet too.
Pretty good. Does anyone wear leather armor?
Soren does.
Well, but
He'll
how
be
much
fine.
would it cost if we know it would cost more than 3K?
we're looking at like a smooth 8K.
No, fuck that.
Yeah.
Smooth
That would be our
looking.
entire party funds.
No,
Yeah, no.
Oh,
we can't
Leander's like,
afford it.
no.
Not doing that.
I mean,
Well, it's like if someone wants to go back to Briar and get Kipper, then we can talk.
All right. So yeah, it's a sweet piece of armor. That's a really good ability. Like that's just good. But anyway, thank you everyone for joining us. It's been a wild ride. Many philosophical discussions have been had. The party's going to visit St. Lillian next week, and who knows, maybe we're actually going to go somewhere that we haven't been in these campaigns before for once.
What? Never.
Alrighty. Thank you everyone for joining us. Don't forget you can still sub bits, donate for the Trans Law Center stuff because we love our trans folks.
Yeah, that's technically we're doing it all month, so we're not streaming tomorrow, but if you've got like a Prime sub that expires tonight and you want to re-up it tomorrow, that means it would still get donated. So
Yeah,
just keep in mind.
something to consider. Anyway, that's all I've got. Does anyone have anything they want to say? Does anyone have anything mean to say?
No, that was a lot of fun though.
I'm glad
It's a good
because that is 2 sessions now where we've hardly rolled dice, and I
Aw,
feel
Baba
really-
Yaga.
Oh, Baba Yaga! Thank you.
Oh, thank you for the.
Thank you.
So many gift subs.
you
Thank
Oh,
you.
They went to some cool people too.
Yeah, seriously.
Sure did. Sure did. All right. So,
Thanks.
as is tradition, if you do not like underwater crustaceans / arthropods, avert thine eyes because it's shrimpy time.
Shrimp.
Shrimps.
That's just reminding me how I need to get more for my tank.
Shrimps.
Thanks so much, everyone.
Shrimp time.
Good
Shrimp
night.
time. Shrimp time.
Shrimp time, shrimp time.
Bye.
Shrimp time. Shrimp time.